Psychic attack in the workplace. Let's talk about it. This is so important. You all that watch here that are subscribed and that hopefully you will subscribe, you guys are workers. You're traditionally in a job and you're building something for yourself. You're either an entrepreneur or you are in a traditional job that is not the best for you right now. And you are trying to work your way up and be in a higher position that you can be the best boss for yourself and so you can help others and be a really bright light. This is like your purpose work that you're doing. So your purpose work does not have to be just be an entrepreneur or creating something brand new. You can still be in the traditional work space. All right. So this video is for you guys. Psychic attack is a very real thing. A lot of people talk about, and I have my gripe with HR, a lot of it is about workplace violence or you don't be mean to people, but nobody ever is paying attention to the intuitive and energetic connections that you have with people and how they can affect you if you are a sensitive and if you are spiritually awake and spiritually aware. That's one of the gripes I have about corporate, okay, and any job. Like HR, I feel like they really need to hire people who are spiritually and psychically aware so that they can help people, like truly help people. I'm going to step back because that's another video. But if you are interested in this, in psychic attack and what I'm going to talk about with you guys today, make sure you stay. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, and I'm going to talk to you about what psychic attack is, how you can know it's happening to you, and give you some spiritual and practical ways to help yourself and deal with it and protect yourself. Okay? So what is psychic attack? Psychic attack is where people are sending you hate mail through their mind, like via their mind. People who consistently are like, they're angry and at you for whatever reason, they just send negative thoughts your way. And they even talk bad about you also, like in the physical, talking to other people. And that's where psychic attack can come from. And that's basically what it is. The cording also comes along with that. So energetic cords, if you've heard of that, or if you have not, energetic cords are created. Some of them are healthy and filled with love, and some of them are very unhealthy. They're either corded into you via, like the best example I can give is like a parent. If you have because you have to depend on a parent or a caregiver when you're younger. If you had a really unhealthy relationship, a lot of their emotions and your energy, especially with you being sensitive, you like take on those emotions and you take on their energy. So it builds these really unhealthy cords that just get stuck into you. And if you're not aware of them, you just carry them with you in your life, and they cause problems and issues along the way. So for the workplaces we're talking about, it can, if somebody sends you enough negative thoughts and talk really bad about you and you are on their mind consistently because they're just so irritated or so upset, they can easily send psychic attack enough to where it also cords into you. And really too, I want to point out, because that was my experience, when you are open, because you just want to help everyone, you want to be kind and you want to be genuine. When you are too energetically open, it allows people to just dive right in there and hook into you and drain your life force and drain your energy. Okay. So that is, in a nutshell, what psychic attack is. It's just you receiving negative thoughts and negative energy, and you wondering why you don't feel the best. You're wondering why this person's on your mind 24/7, even when you're away from work or away from them. And it's just really difficult to get it out of your mind. And you find that whatever issue that you guys have had or are having, you find that you keep going over it in your mind over and over and over again. You just keep thinking about the situation, how it happened, thinking about what you should have said differently. You just keep ruminating with it over and over. That is what psychic attack is. It's just like an attack on your psyche. And it does affect you in other ways as well. So we're going to talk about the ways that you can notice to see if it is psychic attack for you in the next segment. So drop any comments down below if you want to, if you have any additional questions about what psychic attack is. But it's very real and it's very difficult to deal with when we talk about in the next segment about how it affects you. It's it can be really damaging to your entire being. A lot of people have said, a lot of mentors that I've had have said that people don't realize that they're doing it to you. And I had to really sit with that because at first I was like, nah, because I'm aware. They've got to be aware. No, they don't. A lot of these people aren't even like self-aware. So sorry, I had a little, my alarm went off. But yes, as I was saying, a lot of people are not aware that they are sending you like hate mail. I like to say hate mail, mental hate mail. They don't realize that they are psychically harming you and that they're digging and according your system. They don't understand that because they're not spiritually awake and aware. They just don't get that. And they're not the type of people that will understand it or will get it unless they choose to wake up and shift and become better. All right. So why do people do that? Why do they psychically attack you? Remember, you are sensitive, spiritually awake, spiritually aware, and you are walking on your highest timeline, your highest path. You're choosing to be the best version of yourself. So that includes being good and decent and genuinely kind and a better person to others. These people do not, I'm not going to say they do not believe that, but they're not aware like you are. So they don't realize that their thoughts are actually powerful with enough emotion behind it. And that's the thing there. When you have a lot of emotion behind a thought, a lot of anger and hate, or just unkindness, that really sends and really like shocks the system of a sensitive. You know what I'm talking about. You really can feel it. And it doesn't feel very good and it's very unpleasant. So they, first of all, again, they're not aware that they are doing that. But they do it because I feel that you are such a bright light and your self-awareness and you being brave to make mistakes, you being brave to own up to things, you being brave to be yourself fully, it triggers in them what they are not aware of yet. They're not aware of their own light. They're just in their ego. So you trigger those people deeply and they find ways to pick at you. They find ways to be in their lower vibrational self because that's all they know how to do. Okay? So that is why they do that. They have a choice to not be a douchebag, but a lot of them choose to be one anyway because they don't know any other way to be. They don't know how to handle the trigger. And if they did handle the trigger, they're going to have to look at themselves. And a lot of people aren't ready for that. I had to learn that like a long time ago. And it was based off of a relationship I was in, that some people are just not prepared or not ready to go deep. They don't want to know what's going on down there. They just want to stay right up here. They're fine up there. And that's kind of being spiritually awake and aware now and being on this journey as long as I have been. I can't imagine being like that anymore. Like, no way, no way. But for people who aren't aware, it feels good. It feels good to be ignorant. I mean, you don't have to look at anything, right? So that is why they do it. And being in a workplace and dealing with that is very difficult because, again, like I said, you guys are either at this traditional job because you are funding your own business and creating your own business. So you have to have a job on top of trying to start something and create something beautiful. So it's very stressful. And being sensitive and being awake and being aware, you are in an environment where 9 times out of 10, some people are not like you. A lot of people are not like you. And it's hard to deal with that because you also want to have a healthy work life and you want to be where you're at. You want to be in this business and creating this business, of course, but you also are okay with like doing the work how you're doing it. And you want to have an easeful experience so that you can easily just transition right into this beautiful business that you're creating or whatever it is you're creating. And there are people, like I said, who just, they will see it. And if they know you have a business or they know a little bit about what you got going on, that's going to make it even worse. And in my personal experience, I think that is why I had it even worse with my manager. And I'll share a little bit of that story with you here right now. I too work a traditional job and I build this beautiful business and I pay for everything. Banks they don't understand spiritual intuitive stuff. So it's like, I can't give you a loan for that. So it's like, okay, sister, fine. So you got to do it. I got to do it like myself, right? And the management that I'm under, they know a little bit about me having a business. They know that I'm my own being, my own person. I'm a leader. And that triggers them because it's like, no, I'm the boss. And it's like, I have the reason for this video is because I had gone through a really, really difficult psychic attack and courting from my own manager. And it was very difficult to deal with because I didn't understand what was happening at the time. So that I just wanted to share that tidbit with you so you kind of understand like that person, the manager that I have is they send extra daggers and I can feel it when I work on my business and record these videos. I could feel like it's like right here by my ear, all this ugliness and all this dislike and their own insecurities and their own problems. I could feel it being like shot my way. So if you are like someone who talks a little bit about your work, just be mindful of who you share that with so you don't have to deal with the extra baggage and the extra attack and the extra cords that are coming your way. And if you are someone you're not creating a business, but you are working at a company or job that you genuinely like and you know you are ready to move up, you want to get like to close to VP status, be mindful. This is the same for you. You have to be mindful who you share that with because the people that are giving you a hard time, or it could be one person in particular that you just feel like, man, this person is just every time I'm around this person, I feel so drained. That's their way of like being kind in your face, but then behind your back saying such ugly things and wishing for your failure and not wanting to see you succeed. So yeah, you don't have to be creating a business. My work is for anybody who is brave enough to awaken, which you already have, spiritually awaken, and you're stepping on your highest timeline, your highest path to be what you are meant to be in this world. And that could be a traditional job or non-traditional. So yeah, this is still very much so for you. All right. So with that, telling you why people do it, why they send you those daggers, it's really because they don't know how to handle you being a bright light and they're not being spiritually awakened. They just want to attack and like make themselves feel comfortable. So if you feel down, you feel bad, or you're not acting at your best, it makes them feel really good because it's like, okay, now I can't be jealous. Now I'm not triggered. They probably don't even know what the word trigger means, or some of them do, but they're not like you are. They're not deep into that understanding. It just makes them feel good. So that is why people send you those psychic attacks. Like, how dare you be brave and shine your light? How dare you speak up for yourself? How dare you, if it's a manager that you're dealing with too, how dare you like stand up to me? Like, it's wild to me. But these people are out here and that's what they're doing. And that's something with you being on this beautiful path that you're on, your life path and your deepest desire path. You're going to have to deal with people that are like that. Okay. But don't worry. I think it's one of the second to last segment, I'm going to tell you ways how you can protect yourself, practical and spiritual ways. All right. So let's hop to the next segment. All right. So how you can know, if you are being psychically attacked. Let me move my microphone. So there's a couple ways. The big way for me, and I really want to share this one first, is you feel tired all the time. And this is not like your normal tired, you just go to bed and you wake up, you're good. This is you feel energetically drained. That is one way you know you're psychically attacked, and there's a cord attached to you as well from whichever person or the company or whatever it is. You will feel so drained. When you get up to go to work, you will feel mentally and emotionally like, what is going on? I don't have the energy for this. When you get off of work, you will feel the same way. When you going throughout your day, you will feel the same way. In my experience, I had the feelings were it. I was so drained and I was so emotionally just warped. It was really difficult and really painful to deal with because I cried almost every day and I didn't understand why. So that's another way too. You find that you are crying because you're so stressed. You're going through all this stuff with this person on a spiritual level, psychological level, psychic rather level, and you don't understand what's going on. You don't realize it. So tears will come up. You feel even worse about yourself. That's another way. Your limiting beliefs are like taking over, and like really negative like thoughts are just really taking over. You don't feel the best about yourself. your confidence. It feels like you're just not good enough. Those are like the emotional ways and physical ways that it can show up of you being psychically attacked and being courted into. The other way is, again, as I mentioned, I think just a moment ago, where you are consistently like they're in your mind 24/7. Even when you leave work, you're going to do other things, they still keep popping in your mind. And you know you're not trying to actively think about them. That's the key there. It's just they keep popping up. Or you're not even paying attention, and then you just start thinking about, man, that person did X, Y, and Z to me. I'm so irritated. It's just like it just pops in your mind every so like hour or so. It just pops in after you've sat with yourself and be like, hey, let me focus my thoughts. Let's let that go. It keeps popping in your mind. That is another way that you know you're being psychically attacked, and they're courted into you at this point, because it's like their thoughts and how they're sending you those negative vibes, which are very real, is one way to say it. It's like a consistent thing. And psychic attack also, it comes from the back. I was told this by my mentor, and it makes sense. Like when I really thought about it, I was like, it actually hits you from the back. So it's like really hitting on that subconscious mind too. So when you start to feel even worse about yourself, it's hitting on those hidden limiting beliefs back there also. Okay. That's actually really good to point out. But what I came to, my theory is that it comes to you from the back because these people will never come to you in your face and say what they feel, because they know they're wrong and because they know that they are not like decent. So that's my theory on that. They'll never like say it in your face. They'll just be like behind the scenes with it. So I just want to share that because that's really interesting to me. And I've never had anybody actually say oh yeah, I'm a bad person and I do X, Y, and Z. So yeah, that's one way to, that's one thing to keep in your mind about that as well. The other thing that I wanted to say about how you can know the psychic attack and the courting into, besides the thoughts and the emotions, is just that you have an inkling that something's not right. With you being spiritual and you being aware and you being connected to yourself, you just have a feeling that something is not right. You have these intuitive hits that this person is really not kind and they're not decent. But you second guess those beliefs because you dealt with in the past growing up. Like I said, I believe I said that before too. Like you have to hold everyone's emotions. So it's like you're second guessing yourself. Like, is this really me? Or maybe they're not doing this. Maybe it's just all in my head because somebody told you when you were younger, or even just as you were an adult, like they dismissed your intuitive hits because they don't believe those things. They don't believe in that. That is a really big and really important thing to share, because I too, within my experience, I was having all these intuitive hits that this person was not decent. But I had nobody to share that with, to be like, I think that something is really wrong. I think this person's actually like this, and I can feel that. And I feel like I'm being drained by them every day. Like my soul light is being just snatched and like eaten up by these people. I felt those things, but it wasn't until I actually mentioned it to my mentor. Like I broke down. I was like, I know we're working on this stuff, but this is really bothering me. She went to the healing sessions that I offer as well. I get that done with my mentor. And she went deep in there and was like, hey, no, you are absolutely correct. Everything you said, I see the same thing. This is what's going on. It's like a breath of fresh air. And like it eases your mind when somebody can validate what it is you're going through. Okay. So yes, that is having those intuitive hits and second guessing yourself. 9 times out of 10, that person is sending you negativity and is courted into you. All right. So how you can protect yourself and help yourself with psychic attack and courting. Now, the practical step, we're going to start with that one first, is, can you remove yourself from the situation? Is it possible for you to get another job? This is for you if you're creating your business, doing the non-traditional stuff, even if you're in the traditional role. Have you thought about moving to another company? Like, do you really enjoy this company? These are things that you really have to ask yourself. Do you really like this company, or are you comfortable because you've been here for a long time and you feel like it's easier to get to that VP status or that higher status? Because I can guarantee you, there's probably another job. There is another job that would love to have you, and you don't even have to jump through all the hoops you're jumping through now. You could just, boom, apply for that VP status and like get it. That's what I feel, because I'm very optimistic. But that's something you need to ask yourself. Is it possible to leave this job? Do you have the energy to work on your resume? Do you have actual supportive people around you that can help you with finding another job? So that's the first thing. Is it possible to leave? The second thing is that if it's not possible, or if you genuinely like your company, but it's just this person or these people, your team, this group that you're dealing with, how can you limit your exposure to them? How can you limit that time that you have to deal with them? If you work remote, this is beautiful. Can you see the email chain? Can you just like limit how much you talk to them? Do you have to talk to them consistently on Teams? See how you can limit your exposure to them. And if you see them like physically, you go into the workplace, is there a way to limit your exposure to them? Because you probably can find a lot of ways to like, okay, I can actually cut this out. Do I have to go to this meeting? I don't even have to be at this meeting. Let me talk to whoever's in charge of the meeting and let me get out of it if I don't really even need to be there. Maybe it's something I can just send notes and then I don't even have to be in the meeting. Like, there are ways, get creative. There are ways that you can limit your exposure to these people. All right. So, all right. Then the other thing too is, how can you like pull yourself back so you are not the beautiful, loving, open, kind person that you are? How can you like keep things short? Like when they want to chit chat, how can you be like, okay, that's nice. Yeah, I'm sorry, but I have other commitments right now. I have to get to my work. How can you pull back from being the kind and nice person to being reserved, but not a way where you're not yourself, but you just pull yourself, you reel your energy in a bit. You pull yourself back in. So you're not so giving. You're not so, oh yeah, I can help you with that. You're more like focused and putting yourself first. You really are choosing to put yourself first and put your energy and your protection first. Is there a way where you could pull back some? So let's say, for example, for myself, when before I was so open and didn't realize it, I would be so kind and so nice. I always like to put emojis in my email. Not very professional, but whatever. Other people do it too. I put emojis in my emails. I'm so helpful. I'm so nice. And then as I started to realize what was going on, I stopped all that shit. No. Because one thing about me is that when people take my kindness as like, they think it's a joke or they think it's like a weakness, absolutely not. I don't do that, because that's really hurtful, because I'm genuinely like this. So I pulled all that back and I felt really good after I did that. At times it will sting because you want to be so loving and so kind because that's who you are. But you have to understand, like, this workplace or that situation you're in is not that lovey-dovey kind like you are. So it's okay if you pull back and you be different. And then you have your favorite coworkers that you can just relax and be yourself with. That's okay too. So see if there's a way where you can pull back, which leads into the spiritual way of protecting yourself. Your energy, you need to pull that in. You need to reel in your beautiful aura and reel it in so that it's around you and it's not expanded for other people just to jump into or cord into. You need to pull yourself in and protect your energy, protect yourself. If you are a spiritual healer and you're doing this work, you know how to protect yourself. You know how to sit in Gasho if you're Reiki. You know how to sit in Gasho if you're attuned to the symbols, and put symbols in your auric field and set the intention that you are protected. If you're Reiki 1, you can just set that intention that you're protected and visualize your aura field strengthening. If you are not spiritually, like you're not a spiritual healer, but you are a spiritually open person, I do have things on my YouTube channel. I have a grounding and protection, a 10-day grounding and protection that you can do. And you can do that for 10 days, or you can just stick with like pick a video if you like and just allow yourself to do that every morning. So you can either do one of my offers, or if there's someone else you follow on YouTube that you like as well, you can do their protection as well. I highly recommend that you keep doing that. You keep wrapping yourself up in protection every morning before you go in, and you just say your own prayer in connection to the creator, your angel spiritual team, and ask for yourself to be protected when you go in. That makes a huge difference. You will notice a difference when you ask and actually like employ. That is not the right word, but you get what I'm saying. When you actually deploy your protection around you, that is really powerful, and you will notice a difference in your energy. You will actually, this happened to me too when I was in office. Like, I was so afraid I had to protect myself from something. And I was like, all right, here I go. And I never even had to deal with the people or deal with the situation. That's how powerful your spiritual protection can be. All right. So grounding into your own energy, pulling your energy in and asking for your light. You're a protection, but you're not just asking for your aura field and you to be protected. You're actually protecting your spiritual light, your soul light, because those people who are not aware, they're courting into you. And especially if you have been feeling very like energetically drained, they're just taking your beautiful soul light and just having it for themselves. And you don't even realize that's what's going on. All right. So that is very important, that you spiritually protect yourself every morning before you go to work. And if work is not the issue for you, but it's around family members or something, because that's another way that cords, deep cords are formed because of that familial bond. And the psychic attack can come because they feel like they're entitled to be that way towards you because you're family. Wild. You can do that protection around yourself for that too. Okay. So those are the two ways the couple ways I just gave you to help yourself. So yeah, it's really important to protect yourself spiritually and do the practical steps that I offered as well. So in closing, what I want to let you know is that you receiving psychic attack or having cords corded into you energetically is not your fault. Yes, it is not your fault. You are probably someone who, if this resonates with you, it won't resonate with everyone, but you had to rebuild your self-esteem. Like, you had to work a lot in your life to rebuild your self-esteem. And you probably had a parent or caregiver or just those around you where they were emotionally immature, and you had to hold everyone's emotions or hold those emotions for certain people. So when you're used to that, it's easy to blame yourself and think, what did I do to this person? Or like, man, is this my fault? Like, even though you know that you're having this issue with this person and you're doing your best and that person is not, it's still easy to blame yourself. So I want you to know and hear me when I say it is not your fault. People choose to be douchebags, and some people they just don't wake up, and that's just who they are. It's just someone who focuses on themselves and cares about themselves only. And they don't really think about others first. So it's just like me, me, me. And many other things that can go into that. But it's not your fault that they choose to be that way. It's not your fault that they choose to bully you or be unkind or disrespectful. That is not on you. That's on them. As I said, some people just choose to be douchebags because it makes them feel good. And some people don't know how any other way to be. That's just who they are because they haven't awakened or taken the steps to become better within themselves. And your light shines so brightly that it's going to trigger people. And for people who don't understand that, oh, I have this light in me too, like I can cultivate my own light, they're just going to keep reacting at you when you step into areas that they are in and they see your power, they see your amazingness, and they're just going to keep being how they are. And that's on them. That's not on you at all. And that you don't have to worry about any of that. That's their karma to carry and their emotions to deal with. So you don't need to take that on. So whenever you have that thought of, is this my fault? Like, it's not. We spoke about this earlier. You are a kind, caring, genuinely good person. You are a light. You're spiritually evolved. You're opening and you're stepping into your power and your purpose path. This is not you because you are aware. The people who aren't aware do things like that. They don't choose to fix it. You choose to fix yourself and actually ask yourself, what am I doing? What am I bringing to the table? How am I affecting the situation? So yeah, it's not you. All right. Just want you to know that. And I want you to really take that into your heart space. It's not your fault. You don't have to carry their baggage and their emotions. The only thing you need to do is do the steps that I gave you for spiritually protecting yourself and things that you can do on a more practical level. All right, beauty. So we have come to the end of this video. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you've had psychic attack happen to you, if it is happening to you. Drop your comments down below so we can all support each other. Now, if you are dealing with psychic attack and you need some help with that, I do offer a angelic healing and clearing session. Something, it's one of those things down there, but I do cord cutting through the angels. The archangels are amazing to cut cords with. Very powerful stuff. So you can actually book that down below in the description box. You can book that session and we go through what you're going through. Let me know and we'll tap in, connect to the archangels and tap in, and we'll cut those cords and shield you from the psychic attack, clear that energy so that you can get back into your power and start moving forward in your life in the direction that you are meant to go, that you're already on. So it keeps you in alignment with your goals, your vision, and your dream. All right. If you're looking for that support, that is down below. And with that, I will see you guys Monday with another card reading. Pick a card reading with the archangels. All right. Have a beautiful week.